This is Savage Daddy's Wild Wild West, uh, Episode 1, Part 2. And Mabel, if you would, screen share for us, that would be awesome.
No problem.
And then we'll start with the wrap-up. And we'll just do the standard thing that we do for the Friday nights. And if a player can't be there, which is Pat tonight, he's just considered an extra. A wild card extra that you guys can decide what his actions are going to be.
Human trap detector.
That's Sean.
Okay. So when last we left, Alex's character Sean and Dave's character Jim had jumped on horses, and we had a thrilling chase with the banditos, and you guys basically trapped them in the minefield.
They trapped themselves. We just followed them.
Right. So meanwhile, back at the frontier home, what's going on there?
Sal is going to be healing himself and the fair lady, I think.
Okay, because we still have 3 banditos that
Oh, well, that
are shaken.
I believe we'll set Shang on a bandito sticker, will you?
So let's do this. We'll go ahead and start up the tracker.
All right. Wow.
And figure out how we're going to deal with this. Does everybody see the turn order?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And I'm going to delete anyone who's not there. Shuffle the deck. And deal again. All right. You guys have advantage over the pistoleros. At least Sal does. So if you guys have an edge or something that changes your initiative order, and I'm not aware of it or didn't catch it, just remind me for the first few sessions until I get used to it. Sal.
All right. Since I seem to be here at the top, I'm going to throw another one of those little blast bombs so I can get these 3 guys down, or at least.
Right.
Oh yeah, that one. All right, I like that.
So, real quick, Laura Linda, remind me, did you physically take these guys off their horses? Or did you just shoot them? Or did you stun them with the major boobage?
I think those were the ones that were stunned by the major boobage.
Okay.
2 of them had fallen off of mounts, because that's where Sean and I got the mounts. I know that much.
But I think it was they fell off because they lost control of the horses because they got stunned.
Yes. Okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Sal. Throw them bombs.
All right. Now.
Not to overly metagame, but shouldn't you hold your action on that? Does the bomb do anything other than shake them?
If they're already shaken, it should to the wounds. Should not.
That's true.
If it doesn't do damage, then no, it doesn't cause a wound.
Interesting.
Yeah, if it's not a damage effect, it's no different than a test of wills. It can shake them, but it can't
Cause a second.
It can't wound them from it. That's why I was saying it might be better to hold your action and throw the bomb after they start moving.
Well, if they start moving, people might start getting hurt. But all right.
So held action.
Yes, held action for now.
Alrighty. Let's see if the pistoleros can unshake. And I'm not going to give them a group, so I'm going to make different rolls. So he's no longer shaken. No longer shaken. But still limited to free actions. And Still shaking. Okay. So they're trying to get the cobwebs out of their head, and they just keep stammering and stumbling for any horse they can get. They're just trying to get out of there. But they can't mount their horses this round because they're still shaking. So they're moving around trying to get some of the horses under control, like grabbing the reins and, oh, senor, ay caramba.
Hi, caramba. Mios Dios. Do you see the size of those things?
So, what does Shang do?
Shang will approach the nearest of them and kick him in the head.
All right.
Or just kick him in general. The head's not really necessary.
All right. So I need to take a look at his character here real quick and make sure, because his martial arts are a little bit different. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. Not Lanston. Where's the open hand? So, Shang's going to, I'm going to say he, you just want him to attack them, right? That's the only.
Yes.
Okay. So from where he's standing, he reaches down, picks up a clop of dirt, or actually, he reaches in this little satchel he carries, and comes back up, and you see him fan his fingers, and there's a little stone between each one of his fingers for 3 stones.
Oh, cool.
And he makes some hand katas, and then flings his hand, and they accelerate.
Very nice.
Crap, I gotta put myself down on his for control his character. Hold on a second. Let's try that again. It still wants me to steal the card. Crap. All right, he's gonna have 3 power points less because I can't steal his card. Or actually, you know what? Dave, do you mind if I put you in charge of
Not a problem.
Oh wait, I was clicking on the wrong character. No,
But I don't think, even
doesn't
if I
spend
have
power
control
points.
of him, I'm not going to see his power points.
right,
Since
because
you're
he's
using a
not.
token for power points, you're not using like a.
Well, that's the other thing. He's not physically in the game. So I'm just gonna make a note here
Yeah,
under
just-
his token for jam notes that he spent power points.
Well, that or just highlight over him and give him one of the indicators.
Very true. So how many does he start each round with? Hold on a second. Sorry. 20 power points. I don't think he did any power stuff last time, did he?
Not that I remember.
Nope, he did some fighting, but nothing with his powers.
All right, I'll just keep track of it. 3 power points gone, and here comes basically his version of Bolt. And he strikes each one of them for 2d6 damage.
Cool. 9mm stones.
45 caliber at least.
Now they beat you at 2d6 plus 1 then.
There we go.
Hey, look at it this way. It's the same damage that you can do with a slingshot made out of medical tubing.
Indeed.
Yeah. Pretty
One
much.
down. Very nice. How'd the rest come out? I was hoping that. I'm sorry. Nice. Splat.
Thwack.
Doesn't get the last one. So the pistolero here sees both of his compadres go down. Zoop, zoop.
And worries about unshaking next round.
They're like, oh shit.
Go
So,
It is a free action for him to dive for cover.
Yeah, that's true.
Go get
So-
him, Miranda.
He will dive for cover. And he's basically prone on the ground underneath a horse. Or near a horse. So, Laura Linda. What does Laura Linda do?
Laura Linda comes.
You're gonna have to change your name now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep calling her Laura
Yeah,
Linda.
Lorinda. Yeah, I keep saying I'm going to change her name because you keep saying Laura Linda, which is actually very pretty.
It's California. There's a city in California where I spent a while that's called Laura Linda.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it. But anyway, Lorinda looks at the one that dove for cover.
Uh-huh.
Oh, senor. And she comes out to where he can see her and lifts up the skirt to about the knee, showing him some leg, and beckons him. Come here, senor.
All right. Give me that persuasion roll.
Which, of course, ironically, is unskilled.
Bet you
But
get a
let's
plus 2.
see. I'm adding plus 4 to it, I believe. No, plus 6, because animal magnetism, attractive, and major boobage. All 3 would come into play on this.
Yep.
Character is monster versus men.
And guess what I'm going to be adding when she gets an advance?
Very attractive.
Well, I'm probably going to add persuasion.
Oh, crap.
And possibly, I'm not sure that intimidation would be a good one to add, but definitely want to go with persuasion. So plus 6. I think I'm going to try to get just a little bit higher with that. And I'm just using this as a white chip.
All right.
There we go. That's more like it.
So,
Senor. And that little trill at the end.
you may be getting your Benny back. Because that's a persuasion test, right?
Yes.
So it's not opposed. You just roll 2d6. Or, what was it?
That's 3 successes then on the persuasion test.
Yep.
Good gravy.
So if he was uncooperative, that brings him up to helpful. Right? Doing that right? I need to check Savage Worlds real quick.
Uncooperative to neutral to friendly, or to helpful to friendly.
It may only allow you to raise it 2. But
Savage Worlds does not have a hard cap on how far it can go, but it does suggest that the GM consider the situation and that you shouldn't be able to take them from like hostile to friendly.
let's see. Well, I just randomly rolled him anyway, so he was uncooperative. That's
At least
3
my copy
successes.
doesn't say anything about more than one raise helping.
So, you know what? I'm going to go with friendly. Si, señorita. And he like starts walking over and he's like taking off his hat and like licks his hand and like
Taking off other things.
licks his hand and then uses it as like pomade to straighten up his comb over. He smiles at you, and it looks like a row of bad fencing. And he's got a big mustache. He's walking up to you, blathering at you in Spanish, and you pick up like every other word, and you know.
Oh,
hey.
she speaks Spanish.
Okay. So, the subtitles appear at the bottom of the screen. You are very attractive, and I will. I think we should spend some time together with some cervezas. No.
And in Spanish, she tells him, "Senor, I think you want to sit right here and just be a good boy for a while, just to please me, okay?" And pats the bench that's outside the house.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
with ways to please you.
he takes the long way around and gives you a very firm slap on the ass and a big smile.
Ooh, a feisty one, are you? And she's just going to play those wiles to the max.
Okay.
What are the other men, Shang and Sal, doing when they see this?
You would think eventually you'd get somewhat immune just from contact, you know? Yeah, we've seen him before.
So Sal sees all this going on and just.
Sal, thinks that this is well in hand, clearly, and he will wander over and he'll be kind of brushing off his coat because, of course, he doesn't like this dust and all his dirt,
And the blood.
The West needs to get good cleaning, clearly, and he'll go up to Lorinda and say, "Madam, your methods are unrefined but indubitably effective."
Take it, Betty.
Occasionally, I find a little use for, and she shakes a little bit, these.
Indeed, madam.
So meanwhile, a few short miles away, what's it looking like with
wait. Actually, Jerry, one more thing while he's up there. He's going to reach out with his hand, touch her on the back, like where you would if you were dancing with her, and use his heal power on her.
All right. Go ahead and give me that healing roll. Your unmatched Apollonian Energizer?
Yes, indeed.
Or Gentricizer?
Bit of a jolt, perhaps.
So did you drop the power points? Yes?
Not yet. Doing so now. Yes. I gotta check again.
Just something to keep in mind, Dan. When it asks for the modifier, you always put in their wound as modifiers.
Oh, well, 7 then. I apologize.
Well, that'll be enough to heal a wound.
Okay, good deal.
Awesome. So what is that? 1 power point? Or 2 for that power?
Yeah, I'll get it here. I'll find it and take care of it.
If you click on the name of it, it should automatically...
Indeed.
It's 3.
Oh, and you said I get that Benny back, right?
Yeah, you can pull that Benny back.
Okay.
Because I know you spent it under the auspice that it was an opposed roll. Okie dokie. So, they climbed off their horses and wandered into the minefield, and then thought better of it. That's where we left it last time, right?
I believe they had walked back out to us. But I could be wrong on that. Do you remember, Alex?
Well, he had said he would be right back. I wonder if he's not yet back.
That's entirely possible. I
Well,
believe they had
Or I
walked
just
back
forgot to
out.
turn my microphone on. One of the two. I think we ended right as the chase ended with them in the minefield.
Okay.
I don't remember. I mean, it's been a little bit, but I don't remember them coming back out. I remember it ending with them in the minefield.
No, that's what I'm thinking too.
Okay, then I remember
Because-
wrong. It's entirely possible.
So the reason that we're there is because that, oh, look, the train
Right,
thing
it's
came
the
as an
equivalent of the
obstacle.
train.
Okay, and I said, well, the obstacle is they run into the minefield. And some of the explosions go off, they think better of it.
So they are frozen in the middle of the minefield.
I'm going to roll a smarts roll for them. Yeah, they're still on horseback, but they're trying to keep their horses pretty much exactly where they are. They're not having a good go of it.
I warned you about them exploding rocks. You need to learn to listen.
Jim very delicately draws his sidearm and just levels it at them and says, now, if y'all would like to come on back out of there, we can have a discussion about what it was you were doing back at the farm instead.
Or we could just shoot him and save ourselves a lot of trouble.
Cocks the gun.
I've always been fond of the shoot him and be done with that thing myself.
Here we go. They rear up on their horses, turn and start. They pull their pistols, turn the horses, and start galloping towards you.
Bang, bang,
And
bang.
I fire. They've drawn a weapon. Jim
Put
is
some holes in them.
got no compunction. He fires.
You get the one on the left, I got the one on the right.
Let's see here. I believe the weapon I have only has a rate of fire of 1.
Go ahead, since you'd already drawn the weapon. Give me your free shot.
Okay.
Because you see them drawing their guns and yeah. And Sean, if you want to take a free action as well.
Since I didn't have mine out yet, mine will probably draw. Well, I might as well draw and shoot. Worst case, it's a -2, right?
Yep.
So he'll draw and fire at the whatever one Sean's not, or don't one Jim's not shooting at.
And are you guys at plot speaking? Short range, medium?
That's what I was assuming as we were at short range, that
I
they
assume
wouldn't
it'd
have
be
gone
short,
too
yeah.
far into the minefield.
Short range is good.
And do I get the benefit of the aim maneuver since I said I aimed it at them?
Yeah, instead of the drop.
Eh, 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 eh.
Holy crap.
That's only 2 raises for me.
Good God!
Don't mess with the Sean, man.
Jim puts a bullet in one. If Sean puts a bullet through one and back through him and then through his buddy, he's got those
So short range.
JFK bullets.
Was that unskilled?
No, I have shooting.
Oh, okay.
D6.
Okay.
So no, I have D6 shooting.
All right. So, Sean, going to give me your roll for this one?
2d6 plus 1 is the damage. Range damage and ugly. 2 6-siders plus 1. Oops, not plus exclamation point. Plus 1 with a raise. Does that have AP? I didn't write it down.
No.
Yeah, that'll do.
So that's 6 points over. That's shaken in a wound.
Good thing I got that raise.
All right. Then Jim comes with his. That's 5 points over.
I beat you by a point of damage. Oh.
Yeah, with an extra die, you only.
Hey,
beat me by
we're
a
not
point.
arguing. This is a savage world. We just flow. We don't argue minutia. I got more damage than you did.
All right. So now we will start the actual turn order. So, Sean.
Aren't they both dead?
Nope.
Apparently
they're
not.
tough ones. They're tough enough ones they can actually,
Can I make my knowledge battle roll?
Sure. That
So
will
that's
give
one
you a
additional
card. So draw one. And if you want to play it on initiative order, just like deal it to the table and we'll figure it out.
I'll hold on to it for now.
All right.
Provided they last more than a round, it might be useful for the second round. Right now, it's not overly useful.
So they both kind of take one in the shoulder, and it causes their left shoulder to whip back in the saddle.
Oh, did they have to make a riding roll to stay mounted?
That's a good point.
In a minefield? You realize you're going to knock him out of the saddle with this. Sean's just going to blow his completely out of the saddle, and he's going to bounce on 2 mines.
Hey, look, more exploding rocks.
Oh my! I can just see it. Blow him out of the saddle. He bounces on 2 mines, spooks the other horse, which throws the other rider.
I warned you should have just given up when you could.
Like a champ.
Hey,
Damn!
could get that out of your system.
Wait, weren't these the guys that didn't have riding?
Apparently they got it when we weren't looking.
I was
They
going to
didn't have it
say.
for the chase. They didn't have any riding when we were on the chase.
Did not have riding when they were on the chase?
No,
Nope,
you
'cause
said.
you kept totally blowing all of the rolls.
You had specifically said, I picked the wrong ones to get into a chase with. They don't have the riding skill.
Well, then let me pull that back. And
was rather
I'll
amusing.
make unskilled. Nope. Why is it giving me a 6 for unskilled? Okay, there's one.
Oh.
Oh, crit.
So, riding. Failed the riding roll. Agility roll to stay in the saddle, or they just automatically drop out?
The riding roll was to stay in the saddle. That's it. They fall.
All right. They fall, and the horses go kind of racing past you, like out of the minefield towards you. The horses are getting the hell out of Dodge.
Smart horses.
All right, so now Sean. What would Sean like to do?
Sean is going to pull an intimidate. I warned you to give up. Don't do it now, and I'm just going to drop you cold and not stop wasting my time. Surrender or die. I don't really care which, but I'm supposed to ask you.
Awesome.
I can't touch them because they're under Jim's chips. I need to slide one up or something. Wait, there, I got him. Never mind, I got him. Ew. Yeah, I think that'll be benefied. We'll just throw a white one out there for now and see what happens, because that was terrible.
Terrible, terrible.
You can be scarier than that, Sean.
Sean is a scary guy, too.
I'll take the 5 because I don't care that much if they surrender. If they fail, if they don't surrender, we'll just gun them down anyway.
Oh, don't worry. I got an idea.
That one's good. That one, not so much. He passes out. Like faints,
He's already laying on the ground. He just passes out.
Blood loss, landing on his broken shoulder, and the fact he's laying in a minefield.
Flat out faints. And the pistolero next to him points and laughs at him and calls him Puta.
Now you know he ain't no American.
He's like, oh, passes out. All right, Jimbo.
Jim very nonchalantly reaches down and pulls the stick of dynamite that he's got tucked in his waistband out, looks down at it, gun still pointed at the guy, looks up at him and goes, now, I gave you the option to get out of that minefield. Next, I'll start defusing mines. And you with them. You saw what this did to your friends back at the farmstead. You can either walk out now, or, well, no need to bury what's not there. Intimidation roll.
All right. Give me a +2 because of Big Bang Boom.
And let me just check
He's
something
standing in
here. I
the
don't
middle
think
of
he
a
has
minefield.
intimidation roll.
And you're about to throw dynamite into a minefield.
Oh yeah.
That's where the +2.
I'm good with a 10 on an unskilled intimidation roll.
Oh my god.
That should actually be a -1. Here we go.
I don't think he passed.
I think he pissed himself.
One more try.
He rolled the same thing.
Now the color chips don't work. They work differently for the Marshall as well. The same bits. Alex, do you remember?
Thought I remembered that as for the Marshall, they were just regular bennies, but I'll check
Okay.
and see if I can find out
That's
for
what I'm-
sure.
That's what I'm thinking
I was
too.
going to say, I think they're just a standard Benny for the Marshall,
I
but
think so too. But
I would rather we double check because this is it's one of those settings I'm not completely 100%
Yeah.
on.
same here. I'd rather take a second and find out than retcon it. I'm pretty certain they're exactly the same for the Marshall as they are for just regular Savage Worlds bennies.
Don't see anything that says it's different.
Let me check my Deadlands version. There it is.
Doesn't say there.
'59 of the Reloaded Player's Guide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking at 59 and 60. I don't actually see anything that says the Marshall doesn't use the same rules.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't see anything about it.
Okay, so a white chip is a reroll.
White chips reroll, red's an add-on, and I guess you wouldn't have in the original Deadlands. At least you didn't have to worry about somebody else gets a chip when you use a red. You just got to use them. But
And red's a roll of d6 and add it.
right, so red and blue would be the same for you.
Okay. So let's see. He got a 2 the first time. I'll call that the reroll. The second one, same result. So I'm just going to roll an extra d6.
Bam.
Whoa.
He laughs at you and goes to shoot
Goes to
Patty.
unshake.
Goes to unshake.
Yes, I have to unshake.
Fuck like a champ.
And he's got an insane laugh, like he's crazy as a shithouse, as a shithouse rat. It's that spaghetti western type, extreme camera whip shot on him, and him as he takes his gun and levels it, and he's going to shoot the dynamite out of your hand.
That's at least a -6, isn't it? It's a tiny object.
No, it's be a called shot. It's like disarm with the gun.
Yeah, which is a -6 to hit a tiny object to disarm.
Now hold on. A disarm maneuver with fighting is a -2, and then you roll strength to hold on to it. It's not a called shot that does you damage.
No, but it's a called shot to hit the size of target. It's not. I'm not holding a sword out in front of him that he's knocking out of my hand. He's shooting a small object. I mean, if you want to call it a -2, that's fine. I just think that it'd be more of a penalty than that.
Well, he's not okay, but he's not trying to shoot your hand.
No, he's trying to shoot something that's in my hand. It's not my hand he's shooting at. He's shooting at the inch of dynamite sticking out of the top of my hand.
All right, hold on a second.
Or he just shoots you in the hand.
All right. I know I had something about this I had set up for the edge for the sharpshooter. All right, well then he'll just shoot you in the hand. So, I'll take the negative. That's smaller than your head.
That's
I'll
what I
take
was
the
saying.
negative
I mean,
6.
if he's shooting for the dynamite, I would say it's a -6 because it's a very specific called shot.
But a hand shot, -4? Or
You get me blowing up with your dynamite, I'm gonna have to hurt
-6. Because if he
If
hits,
he's attempting to blow up the dynamite, I would say it's the -6. Regardless of if he's putting the bullet through my hand to do it or whatnot, because he's aiming for dynamite.
all right, he'll try to ignite the dynamite.
You get me blown up with your stinking dynamite, I'm gonna beat you.
So
It only does a couple damage.
make sure that
That's
when you
gonna
see,
hurt me. I said I was gonna beat you.
hold on a second. They're shooting 0. Range modifier 0.
Now, they're prone?
No, he's not prone. They'd take him 2 points of action to get up. I pictured them both getting up from their horses when Sean tried to intimidate them.
Okay.
Well, got up, one of them passed out.
So, -7.
He critically failed.
Critical failure.
Welcome to...
Oh, shit. I wouldn't laugh about that, Sean.
I don't care, it's still funny.
Innocent bystander rule.
I'm neither innocent nor a bystander.
It's a 1.
You're next to me. It's a
That's
one.
a 1.
Die.
Sure
It's
is.
you or one of the two horses.
So, let's do this. Roll.
Yep, I'm gonna have to beat you.
Horse.
Hey, I didn't do it. He did. Beat him.
Your horse is number 1. You're number 2. Jim's horse is number 3. Hit your horse.
Now I'm really gonna beat you.
Beat him. He shot your horse, not me.
If you just shot him, we wouldn't have this trouble. It's all this dynamite playing you keep doing.
Hey, it worked back at the farmstead.
Except it blew me up there too.
And your horse takes 2d6 damage. Let's see. Standard toughness for a horse. Bestiality.
7?
I want to say 6 or 7.
I don't know.
Riding horse. Got it. Toughness 8. So not even enough to... He gets a grazing shot. Across.
It's not even enough to shake it.
Nope.
Toughness 8, dude. Horses are as tough as I am. That's it, you're dead. Well, if I get another card. Oh, he's going again. Yeah, but you got him first.
How glad are you I rolled a 1 where I can't drop a red penny?
I'm always happy to have you.
I'm going to replace Sean's initiative card
All right.
with a queen.
Oh, shit.
That way we both go before they do.
Works for me.
All right, what are you doing?
I plug him. Why waste the dynamite? He's standing in the middle of the freaking minefield. I plug him. And there'll be a penny for that.
Is it going to be a red penny?
No, it's just a white penny. Blam!
That's much better.
Plug him with a raise. And is it the one with the clock or the one with the heart?
The one with the heart on it. The one with the clock is passed out.
It's the unshaken one.
Really?
It's a
Oh, he was unshaken.
That's with an attack roll raise, too.
That's an attack roll raise. All I did was shake his ass.
All right, Shawnee.
Hang on.
I believe we're playing Blood and Guts, but you know what?
Oh!
Sean's going to take care of it
again.
Uh-oh. Wait.
Nope. That's a 1.
He shot his friend.
No, that wasn't a shoot. This was my am I allowed to act or do I need to swagger roll?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And I got an 8, so I get to act. That's twice in a row, man. Sean's D4 int is not killing him yet. D4 smarts.
I totally thought that was the roll to shoot him, and he shot his buddy laying on the ground next
Nobody shoots the horse.
Now that's a 1 on your shooting roll.
Unless you're going to Benny that. You shot his friend.
No, I'll Benny it. I guess I'll use a red as a white.
What are you going to go and shoot? Why are you shooting the unconscious guy, Sean?
Screw it. I'm adding a blue to it. How do you roll that? Just a D6?
Yeah, miscellaneous on the bottom.
Miscellaneous. I can never remember which one's which.
Miscellaneous explodes. DX does not.
There.
Damn!
16.
All right. Now we're playing hot lead.
Hot lead. So each additional is what, +1 to the damage?
Yeah,
12.
each raise after the first adds +1 to the
So
damage.
+2 more to the damage. It's 2d6, and it'll be +3 then, because it starts at +1.
Oh, actually, you get to choose. Sorry, I amended it for this. You get to choose between the +1 or the extra d6.
Really?
So I can take a raise or the +3?
Right. You can take the d6 or the +3.
I'll go ahead and take the +3 and get the guaranteed damage. Hold on, let me re-roll it then. Range damage, ugly, 2d6 +4.
Wait, so you don't get the normal attack roll raise at all?
You get to choose. Do you want the attack roll raise, or do you want the extra +1s?
Oh, okay.
I think he's dead. Nobody! No cowardly Mexican shoots me, horse!
You blew his heart out of his chest into a mine.
No, if I can do it.
Yeah,
I hit him.
He's dead.
I know, but let me narrate, because, you know.
Okay, absolutely.
So
That roll?
Please
he
do.
shoots him through the leg, staggers 2 steps, lands on top of a mine, which blows him straight up in the air and leaves pieces of him all over the minefield, possibly with further explosions for fun.
Nice.
Because that's better than just dying to 1 bullet, you know.
But does Sean shoot him while the body is flying in the air just for good measure?
Not that good a shot. Now that's an exploding rock.
Awesome.
Well done.
Take a Benny.
Hey, Jimbo. Why don't you go get the one who passed out there, and we'll see if we can ask him some questions.
You're walking into the minefield?
No, you are. I shot the guy. You threw bullets all around him and missed him. And almost blew me up with dynamite. You get to walk in the minefield.
Every shot I fired hit my target.
I don't know. You just kind of scared him. You didn't hurt him.
So you in the minefield for him, or?
Jim will dismount, hand the reins to Sean, and slowly make his way through the minefield to the unconscious.
I think that narratively, given the explosive death of the other guy, his boat should be dead.
Nah, he blew up a few steps away from him.
Oh,
On the other side of the
Yeah.
hill.
No, this is Wild Wild West. So if I were going to be watching this on TV, no, but he is covered.
Oh, he's
Covered in chunks and dirt.
there's clods of everything all over him.
Oh, and while Jim is going in there, Sean pulls out a cigar and lights it. Nothing like being an American.
All I need is one notice roll.
That's why I sent you. I don't have notice.
Not even at a penalty because, well, you guys have been through this field already. You got a pretty good idea how things are spaced out.
Wild West is filmed by the Spartacus crew.
There's no physics in the Wild West.
Like a champ, you're able to drag him out too, no problem.
If you touch
Okay.
the body, it will explode in blood.
He's cuffed and thrown over the back of my horse.
All right.
Just know it is not actually your horse. It's one of their horses.
It's his horse
It's
now.
mine now. And I guess we head back to the farmstead.
It may have cost me a blue chip, but it was worth it.
Oh, that was awesome. Hands down. Awesome.
That was so amusing to listen to.
I hate it when these guys are stupid. Just give up next time. Save us a lot of bullets. Reload
So you
this
guys-
pistol.
So back at the frontier, there is a huge explosion on the horizon. What do you guys do?
Oh dear, our technology work.
I'm just clearing the minefield for folks. Make it real
Lorenda
world
does
safe.
jump a bit in startlement, but she goes back to charming the one she has sitting there, and keeping him from noticing that she's gradually working on tying his hands.
The good news is jumping with Major Boobage just probably adds to the distraction.
Yeah, she's not bothered buttoning back up.
Oh dear.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I'm gonna say that you're having a little bit of trouble, not because you have titillated him so much. He's very handsy. So
He's not fighting with you. He just wants to use his hands more.
So give me. Let's do an opposed agility roll.
Okay.
Move on. I think Sal will heal himself while she's doing this.
All right. It's like put it up to your neck. So drop those PowerPoints and make the roll.
Oh yes, yes indeed. The PowerPoint's supposed to go.
And then you subtract 1 for yourself. You happy with that roll?
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna Benny that.
Well,
Now looks like I'm gonna have to be satisfied with a 5, because yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not spending any more on that.
Well, you
It's
can't
not
anyway.
that important.
You can't anyway.
Oh yeah, it was a critical fail, wasn't it? Duh.
All right. So here comes his opposed agility. Enough. So he goes to he's running his hands like one hand up your thigh, up the outside of your thigh, and the other hand on the small of your back, and you just reach around and grab him, and
And
he's handcuffed.
it's one of the ribbons out of her hair that she's used to tie him, actually, because, well, where would she put handcuffs with this outfit?
Where all femme fatales put handcuffs
And everything else.
and everything else.
The
same
magical
place-
plot of holding.
Yes, the same place they put dollar bills.
Yeah, but she's got the top dropped.
And well, he pulls back from you, and he sees the ribbons around his hand, and he just, yeah, I like this. How did you know? And he's like smiling at you and making. And about that time, he sees Jim and Sean returning. Let me give him a notice roll, real quick, just for shits and giggles. Yeah, he doesn't recognize that you got his compadre on the back of the horse.
They caught one too. I guess we don't need this one after all. You can take him back and throw him on some more rocks.
Now, Sean, due
What?
process and all.
What's that?
Well, we're going to a prison. We're going to give him 2 extras to keep for the one we're taking with us.
Oh, that's a fair trade.
Mm.
Now, sweetheart, you just hold that thought. We'll have to continue this a little later, and Horrendous starts getting dressed again.
All right. So, what does that look
The
like?
manhood of Rebecca Warrens.
What does that look like when you guys roll into the farmstead?
You guys ready to go?
As they're riding, they finish riding up. Lorinda's tightening the bodice up again.
Everything well in hand?
You could say that.
He never met a woman so fast to get out of her clothes, but sure wish I had.
At which point, Jim will ride over and tether the horse he's been riding to the back of the carriage.
All right.
And begin moving the dynamite out of the floorboards and into the buckboard carriage.
Sean's going to go to the one who surrendered and was tied up with ribbons and just kind of scoop him up.
Cool.
Awesome.
So everybody's in the carriage and stuff, right?
Well, I'm going to be riding outside it again, but I'll toss him on the horse, one of the horses that we took from them,
Well, no,
All right.
I was figuring we were going to put the prisoners in the carriage.
with
With
the
Sean.
dynamite
That's why I
Right.
was taking the dynamite out of the floorboards of the carriage,
and putting it where?
putting the 2 cases up at the buckboard.
Ah, okay. I thought you were putting it in the back because I knew it was hidden underneath before then.
Mm-hmm. I figured you put
nicer
it up
than
at the
I am.
buckboard so whoever's riding shotgun can get to it.
You're nicer than I am. So I'll toss him in the back of the carriage.
Excelente.
Thud, thud.
Apparently, Jim's going to be buying freaking carriage driving.
Damn Mexicans come in my country and causing trouble.
I put out Sean that was theirs before it was ours.
So they lost it. They should stay out of it. They wanted it. They should have won the war.
And we'll do a fairly brief introduction. We'll do some roleplay here at the fort, and then leave it there for the night. So during the ride, does anybody want to add anything to the narrative during the ride out there? Because nothing happens as far as like you're not accosted by buffalo or
Well,
not
before
rolling an
leaving,
encounter.
before actually leaving the farmstead, once the carriage is secure and that we're able to put them in it, Jim will have some questions for him before we drive off.
All right.
You know, what were they doing at the farmstead? Did they kill the people back at the farmstead? That sort of thing.
Sean's looking for something to eat. He'll search around the farmstead, see if there's any food left.
Yeah, no, it's
Since
Oh,
they rang
right.
the dinner bell, it made him want to eat.
so. Jim basically starts interrogating before you guys get in the car and ride.
Mhm.
So you wake the unconscious one up, enough, and he's still, oh. And the question was, what? What were they doing at the farmhouse? Did they kill everybody at the farmhouse?
Mm-hmm.
They look at you and go, I don't work for you, senor.
Jim will casually reach up and put his thumb in the bullet wound of the shoulder and begin to crush the shoulder with his hand.
Oh, you dirty, dirty son of a bitch!
Oh, very refined.
That sounded incredibly French.
Far further south than the men I've dealt with previously, so I will give you the courtesy of another opportunity to answer my question.
And he just goes, El Cortez, Cortez! Now, are you happy?
And he'll release the grip he has on the wound. And what does Cortez want with the farmstead?
I don't know. He doesn't tell me such things. We ride. We ride. We're banditos. You killed all of the gunmen, all of our gang.
Hmm. And where, sir, might one find this Cortez fellow?
Oh, I don't think he'll be too happy with you, senor, either.
Do you know who I am?
Of course I know who you are.
Okay.
You are the one they call Jim, the Secret Service agent.
Sorry.
And Jim is slightly taken aback by this.
Well, sir, I see your fame has defeated you.
Yes, you are known in these parts. I'm just going to stick with a French accent. I know it's not incredibly Spanish. I'm sorry if it's bumping anybody, but
Dude, I love it. It's absolutely not a problem at all.
I'm trying to think. It keeps coming out that way, so I'm not going to fight it.
I think it's great.
There's no such thing as a bad accent.
So, can Sal try and persuade this fellow to tell us where this Cortez, who this guy is, and where he is?
Oh, he will tell you freely. What stories of horror shall I weave for your ears about the Cortez? They say that he was born on a full moon, ass backwards, and bitten by a donkey. And he starts just telling all these it's like he's telling a Hispanic version of Paul Bunyan about how much of a badass this guy is.
All right.
He doesn't open bottles.
Give me a moment. My persuasion background is off.
Doom on you all! The second Cortez finds out what you have done.
Well, then I would say it's in our best interest that he never finds out.
Oh, but I don't think you can stop it.
What do you think, Sean?
Pokes his head out wherever he was searching for. What?
Apparently, if anyone finds out what we were doing here, this Cortez will come after us. Do you think it's in our best interest to allow this to happen, Sean?
Well, yeah. It's much easier. The bad guy comes to us so we can kick his butt all over the place.
So which one do we let go? The dumb one or the shot one?
I figured they were both dumb. I don't know. Can't we
I
just
guess
leave a
we'll let
note?
the warden decide.
Say, can't we just write a note and leave it here for Cortez instead? Then we don't have to leave either one of them behind.
There you go.
Yes, we did this. Come find us if you've got the guts.
At which point,
Guts in Spanish.
Jim will walk away and go start looking through the house to see if there's a deed or any paperwork that shows who owned the farmstead.
Yeah, you search the house. It's just basic. I don't know any other way to put it. It's just a basic farmstead.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing special or unique.
There's
about
nothing
it.
that identifies the family, like a
No, there is.
one over the door, or anything he can use to identify them when he stops at the prison.
Sure. It's the deed is made out to John Johnston.
Okay.
He's a German immigrant who has taken advantage of the Homestead Act, or the Land Act, where he was, issued 2 acres or whatever.
2 acres and a mule.
Yeah.
Or what? Yeah. Jim will pack the paperwork away in his inner pocket to turn over to the warden.
All right, and that's what I mean. It's standard. It's nothing important as far as a plot point. So are the Pistolero riding with you?
So the Pistolero are in the carriage and secured, and the carriage is locked up from the outside. The same way we're planning to transport the other prisoner back. I assume Shang is riding inside with them again.
Sean will be attempting to write the note out for Cortez. Note he barely can spell and doesn't write well. So he keeps asking the banditos how to say things in Spanish.
Notices, and here, let me do that. You tell me what you want it to say, and I'll write it for you, okay?
Can you do it in Spanish? I want to make sure he understands it. I don't speak that Spanish stuff.
Not a problem.
Hey, Cordy, you wimpy ass. You want to fight? We kicked your guy's butt, now come fight with us. Signed, Sean. I can write the Sean part. I know how to spell that.
And she will write it out, translate it into Spanish, and write it out all nice and neat, and very legibly, and give it to Sean to decide where he wants to put it, and she's very amused by all this.
He'll sign it and stick it right up and right by where the triangle was they were banging on that brought them here.
So does he take a stiletto off one of the bodies and
just jams it into the door frame?
Slams as deep in the door as he can with his full strength.
Just for future reference, Sal is going to collect up enough bits of various bandito gear that he can become one of them in need.
Okay.
And he'll make sure to lay out all the bodies by the porch, too, so he can count them. Except for the blown-up guy, of course, because, the guy in the minefield, we didn't bring him back, but there's probably pieces of him here.
One wonders, of course, if these banditos have ever been introduced to the sacred idea of laundry.
Sacred? You got a funny religion, mister.
Why, my goodness, sir, haven't you heard that cleanliness is ex-godliness?
No.
How sadly limited your education has been.
That's entirely possible. On the other hand, I can knock you through the wall if I have to.
I see. Well then, pardon me, Doctor. We'll move on from there.
What do you think? Oh no, actually he'll hold the bandit who was shot up. What do you think? Will that bring him to fight me? No, he'll let the bandit read it and make sure the bandit can read the note.
And the bandit will look. The pistolero will look at you and go, "You just signed your death warrant, senor."
No, I didn't. I signed a note to your Cortez or whatever his name is, Cordy dude. You're confused. Don't you read Spanish? She told me it was right. Did you write that right in Spanish?
And he starts blathering off in Spanish, just cursing you in Spanish. He's calling you I don't know what he's calling me. Lorinda gets all this, but he's calling him the son of a motherless goat.
May the fleas of 1,000 donkeys infest his genitalia.
Yes.
Not to be outdone, Sean will respond in Gaelic and lay into him with just the best Irish swearing he can come up with. Long, involved sentences about, brownies infesting your beds and shamrocks growing out of your nether regions and similar things. Quite happily, with a big smile on his face, because this is the most fun he's had in a long time.
Lorinda doesn't even blush at all the cursing, and actually laughs a little bit, and then looks at Sean, because she doesn't speak Gaelic. You're going to have to teach me some of those. I'm assuming those are curses.
Well, of course. Nobody curses like the Irish.
And I'm going to say, Shank can't take it anymore. He's sitting in the back, and everybody's just screaming at everybody else. He reaches out and does like a Vulcan nerf pinch on the pistolet, and he just puts the pistol.
Oh man!
When
This one was
Jim's
fun.
When Jim is finally done searching the house, Jim walks out. Okay, folks, let's mount up. We got to get to the prison before nightfall.
About time. Cigar goes in the mouth, climbs on his horse, and off we go.
And he does the same to the other lecherous pistolero.
Hey, baby, when are we going to start?
And then calmly sits down in a lotus position and starts meditating.
That dude's got a screw loose. Nice guy, but he's got a screw loose.
Did you see the note I dropped you, Jared?
Interrupt a perfectly good argument like that.
Sure. Make that roll, but make it as a WC trait so it doesn't give away what it is.
Okay. How about I just make it as the unskilled roll that it is?
All right.
Not happy with that.
Oh, no.
I will drop a red. No, I will drop a white reroll. I'm happy with that.
I guess so. I have it.
Hold on a second.
I believe it's Sal will nap on the way off to the prison. So does he get any points back?
Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know how many hours travel it is, but I know.
There we go. So I'm going to whisper you something back.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, Sal. What was Sal's question, Dan?
Do I get any power points back on the way to the prison?
Your power points refresh at a rate of 1 per hour.
Very good. Okay.
So I'm gonna say you're basically 6 hours still, like buggy ride. You'll be there by probably. You guys had slept the night before, right?
Yeah, we had slept the night, and then we found this, right after breakfast time.
A little bit after, because we came out of the minefield in the morning.
Or no, it was lunchtime. That's what
Yeah,
that was what drew Sean over the hill.
Right, they rang the dinner bell.
So yeah, you guys will arrive like shortly before sunset.
Well, given that Sean is Irish, but Dander is up, and he's been having so much fun, he's going to be singing Irish drinking songs loudly and extremely badly for the trip.
All right, did everybody see the chat thing where I shouted, "Everybody take a Benny"?
I did.
Okay.
Yep, I took mine.
Where do you think I got the Benny for the roll I made?
From all the role play going back and forth, Benny. All right. Now, we'll just go ahead and handle the Fort Courage introduction scene. This is part of the base that you guys were told to report to, and basically get your recon from.
Okay.
So they're expecting you. You're ushered in and taken to Colonel Jackson's, the commander of the base. You asked to see him. Lieutenant Commander Smythe walks up and tells you that Colonel Jackson's unavailable.
Tell me, sir, what point did the Navy take over this facility?
I'm sorry, what was that, sir?
At what point did the Navy take over here?
I don't understand your accent. I apologize. One more time, slowly.
But of course, at what point did the Navy take over this fort?
Oh, well, I'm a colonel. So what? Okay, so what would the proper ranking be?
Lieutenant Colonel would work.
Okay, Lieutenant Colonel.
Mr. Smythe.
Yes, sir.
When is it that we can expect the base commander to return?
Well, that seems to be the issue. He has not left the base, the fort. However, he's no longer in command. He's actually in the brig.
And what led to this particular happenstance?
Our doctor deemed him unfit for duty.
In what manner?
He seems to be suffering some affect of the mind. He accused many of our cavalrymen of being imposters, and ordered them to be stripped of rank and kicked out of the fort. And he seems to be suffering some delusion of some sort, and he's not fit for duty. But he's a danger. He got violent, and we had to restrain him and put him in the brig.
I see. Professor?
Yes.
Would you mind going and having a look at the man?
I can do it by full attention.
I would appreciate that. Now, Mr. Smythe, we have the issue of the prisoner exchange.
Sean will pull the two out and throw one over each shoulder.
Yes, about that. May we speak in private?
Thud.
And he steps over to one corner of the room. You guys are in the commander's basic office. And he just sort of, yes, about that.
Jim will step into the corner with him.
And he goes, in his fugue state, it seems that the commander let the prisoner escape. As best we can put together, I do have scouting parties out to the south looking for him. But we believe he may have returned over the border.
I see.
And it's unclear if the colonel actually released him or not, or if he managed to escape somehow in all the confusion and ruckus. But we temporarily do not have the prisoner for the exchange. And I'd appreciate if we keep this between ourselves until we can find him and locate him.
Now, Mr. Smythe, this will not bear ill upon you and my report, but you have to understand, I cannot not disclose to Washington that in the colonel's dereliction of his duties, that he released this prisoner and he had to be recaptured.
Well, you know,
I'm more than happy to assist in this, but it must be reported that his dereliction was such, or he cannot be tried appropriately for his own crimes.
yes. Well, you see, I'm not suggesting that you not report it, per se, but that perhaps there's maybe some slight delay.
Well, certainly I won't be filing my report on this particular bit of shall we say,
Oversight?
certainly, until I return to Washington with the prisoner. Now, I do have the 2 prisoners in the carriage that must be taken to the brig, and the Johnstonton family, if there's any heir, needs to be contacted. At which point he'll produce the deed, and there's the extra piece of paper with the deed that he stuffs hastily back into his jacket.
Okay.
And he says,
And
this
well-
is the deed work for the farmstead that we found them raiding. Everyone we could find on the premises was dead, save for the bandits themselves. We killed a dozen or so of them, and these 2 were all that remained. They indicated they work for someone named the Cortez.
And you see his eyes sort of widen. I see. Well, by all means, we shall detain them. However, they are officially Mexican citizens. So,
Well, at that point, doesn't this not become an act of a terrorist, or at the very least, an illegal entry into the country for the act of crime? I believe the border jurisdiction would be yours to execute these men at dawn for such a violation.
yes, yes, indeed. And he seemed like straightening himself and trying to look more presentable. He has no idea what he's doing.
It comes off that clear, huh?
He is a green as they come, like military academy graduate who just has the
With Jim's prior knowledge of having served in the military, does it come off that this man is genuine? He's not someone trying to imitate a lieutenant colonel. He actually is a lieutenant colonel. He's just not a great one.
Yeah, he sucks.
Okay.
He's horrible.
He's
doesn't know
horrible, but he's
anything
not
about-
doing anything that gives him away as a con of some type.
No, you get no sense that he's trying to hide anything from you, other than his own horrible incompetence.
Okay.
That's where the nervousness is coming from. He's trying to not besmirch the name of his commander. He's very worried about more about the political ramifications,
Mhm.
but instead of the military protocol. You get the sense that this is like his first duty posting.
I'll turn to Sean and Lorinda. Speak with the scouting parties, and let's see if we can't help them track down our missing apprehendee. He'll turn back. Now, you said that you had sent out the scouting parties to the south. Was there a reason you chose not to scout in the other 3 cardinal directions?
Well, that would be closest to the border, you see. And we have been having problems with this El Cortez, and he tries to play it off like he doesn't know who that is. So that part he is hiding from you. Like, he knows exactly
It's
what's
very
going on.
clear on his face that he's
Yes.
telling a lie.
Yes, like I have no idea who this Cortez person is you speak of. I mean, you can tell he's blatantly lying about that. Because, yeah, well, there seems to be the El Groucho gang has been terrorizing these parts, and these men appear to be members of that gang. And so, yes, you were quite right, sir. And he says they will be hung or put in firing squad. They should go in front of the firing squad immediately. And starts to head for the door to bark an order.
Sir, you should probably wait till dawn so that your soldiers can aim better and not miss. And that's just said in such a syrupy, sweet voice that anyone that knows her realizes that she does not have a very high opinion of this man at this time after the training they put her through
Hey, Jim. Oh,
to
sorry.
become an agent. But she does it in a way that it sounds like she's just giving good advice to him.
Right. Well, he's taken aback a bit, but not necessarily by the advice. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Jim, is this due process you was talking about?
If they are Mexican citizens committing a act of war on U.S. soil, I would think that you, sir, above any
It takes
other,
you a long
would.
time to say yes or no. Is this due process or not?
For Mexican war criminal, yes, it is.
So basically, we wasted a whole bunch of time dragging him back here when we could have shot him out there and saved us the trouble.
Did
You
you
are
know at
very confusing.
Did you know at the time that they were Mexican war criminals?
Well, yeah.
I knew that they spoke Spanish and
That's close
were
enough.
bandit.
Ain't like any good Americans speak Spanish.
Sean,
What?
I speak Spanish. Does
Well, yeah,
that
but you're a
make
girl.
Sean?
What?
Never mind.
Oh, good. So in any
Yeah.
case, can we shoot him now, or do we have to let them shoot him? I'm confused.
They shall wait in the brig and be executed at Lieutenant Colonel Smythe's orders. Mr. Smythe, do you mind if my group of agents assumes the Colonel's quarters as well as this office for our usage while we are here?
There's a long pause. Like he's like thinking about, wait, is that proper protocol or not?
Horrendous saunters up to him and rubs her hand along his cheek. Now, you wouldn't want a lady like me to have to deal with lesser accommodations, would you?
Well, by no means would I, by my actions or therefore inactions, madam, have your honor soiled or put at risk among the common rabble of the infantry.
Jim shares a long, knowing look with Sean.
What?
Of course, this is the. I don't.
The commander's quarters are the finest in the fort, correct?
And he looks at Jim and says, "You seem to be a man of some military experience. Would it be proper for you to assume the commander of the fort's office?"
As the highest ranking members of the U.S. services on the post at the time, I would not see an issue with us taking control of the commander's office in his stead while you take on his duties.
Buddy, go for it, dude.
Well, then, by all means, yes, indubitably, madam. I bid you adieu. And he pulls at the brim of his hat, tries to slide by everybody, and backs out of the room.
And before he can get away from her, thank you very much, sir. And Lorinda will tiptoe and give him a kiss on the cheek.
He blushes and shuts the door quickly.
At least our clothes stayed on that time.
She chuckles as soon as the door is closed. Oh, that's so much fun.
And then
He's kind of dumb.
you hear muffled, him shouting, barking, muffled orders, taking it out on his men.
Does anyone else feel like we just met the most bumbling officer in the military to date?
Who was that?
No, not quite, Jim. And Lorinda glances at Sean and just laughs.
I get the distinct impression he was lying to us in regard to this Cortez. It seems he's a bigger issue than we thought.
Oh, good. Then when I shoot him, it'll be all done.
Certainly, certainly. First light, we'll have to figure out what direction to search in and see if we can't track down the man we're here to escort back. And perhaps we'll end up taking care of this Cortez issue while we're in the area.
Now, did I hear somebody asking the professor to go check on the commander in the brig?
Indeed.
So what does that look like, Saul?
That looks like Saul going stepping outside and asking the orderly where the brig is.
All right. And I'm assuming you flash your identification. He takes you right in.
Yeah.
Takes you right in. The man in the cell is in his mid to late 40s. Still dressed in the uniform, but without the jacket and all the pomp and circumstance. He's basically wearing an undershirt with the, but he's still wearing his boots and uniform pants with suspenders.
Uh-huh.
He looks disheveled, and he's sweating profusely. And he just sort of looks at you out of the corner of his eyes through the bars of the cell as you approach. He doesn't stand up. He kind of looks like a trapped dog in an alleyway.
I will look at the guard and say, you may go now.
The guard kind of steps off to the side. I can't leave my post, sir, but I'll definitely stand here by the door. And salutes and just takes a takes a stance.
That's fair enough. Then Sal will go to the bars and say, so, Colonel, tell me about these imposters.
Who are you?
I am Dr. Methuselah Devlin.
Why does that name sound familiar?
As well it should. We've come to retrieve your prisoner, which has been lost.
Are you here with Sinclair?
I am here, sir, to speak to you.
How do I know you're who you say you are?
By the way, the name Sinclair would mean me to you.
Yeah.
Okay, kind of that's what I figured, but
we received a communique a week ago that Jim Sinclair and his
yes, Colonel Sinclair is talking to your subordinates now. However, you may have heard that I have something of the student of Tesla, and this way he'll run his glove over the along the barge and let some sparks fly.
Okay. He seems shocked by it.
Excellent.
Oh! He goes, where's Smythe? Who's talking to Smythe? I've got to get out of here. You understand me?
I understand.
Got to get out.
So tell me more about these imposters.
They're everywhere. They're taking over command. They must be stopped.
Well, of course, if that's what's necessary. Is Smythe one of them?
Yes. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to tell. It's so confusing. It keeps getting wrapped around in my head. I don't trust him. He's only been assigned to this fort for 3 weeks, barely a month, and I had no say in his posting. He was forced on us.
I see. That's indeed trouble. And he put you in a cell, did he?
Yes, the yellow bellied coward. And he comes up to the cell and grabs the cell bars and pushes his face between the bars and looks at you intently, and then looks at the guard and then whispers, "If you distract the guard, we can get out of here."
Patience, girl, patience. We're on your side. We're on your side. But let's wait till a more propitious moment for your clever escape.
Ah, curse it! And he pushes away from the door and he starts turning over. He just goes into a fugue state. Starts turning over everything in his room, kicking the walls, punching the walls.
Okay. Saul will take advantage of that moment to head back to the team.
All right. So Saul returns at the commander's office and quarters.
Have they told me where to put this guy yet? These two guys yet? Or I'm still carrying them around?
Oh, they came and grabbed him.
All right. I still don't understand why we couldn't just shoot him and save time. He's glaring at Jim at this moment.
So Saul enters the room. What does that look like?
Well, I spoke to the colonel. His condition is fascinating.
What's fascinating mean? I mean, I know what it means, but what's that mean to you? I ain't stupid.
Of course you're not. No, I understand that, Dr. Sean.
What? I work for a living. I'm no doctor.
Of course not. Now, that said, the man clearly is convinced, rightly or wrongly, that he is surrounded by imposters in this fort.
So he's gone loony.
Further, this Smythe is a very recent. He will basically tell them what was said. That's about Smythe especially being a short timer.
Any editorial regarding Saul's medical opinion?
Well, Saul, not actually being a doctor of medicine, he will actually, yes, he will. I would recommend a significant amount of electrotherapy. That cures all ills.
Some of Dr. Saul's magical medicine.
I have right here. Yes, indeed. He is, however, he does seem to be violent. That part is true.
I'm violent. That doesn't mean anything.
Yes, I understand that, but he's violent in a less focused fashion.
Oh. Well, okay.
Sean, your manner of violence can be directed, is I think what Saul is trying to say.
Well, why don't we all?
Okay.
Why don't we all try to not necessarily carouse with these men, but at least spend a little time with the men of the fort and see if we can catch any of the scuttlebutt as to who this Cortez is and why it is that Smythe is not trusted by either his commander or the other men, as well as why he's hiding details about Cortez from us.
Did you say he was dumb?
Incompetent, but I don't know that he's dumb.
I'm sure I can persuade some, shall we say, confidences?
Oh dear.
Does this mean her clothes coming off again?
That's not always necessary. Fun, but not always necessary.
I was just being hopeful.
So Jim will head to wherever like the officers' mess is to get a plate and sit down and see what he catches from the other officers in regard to the commander and Smythe without actually asking any questions.
All right.
Sean? Yeah, sorry.
Shang will excuse himself from the party. Like, just sort of bows his head. Excuse, please. Excuse, please. And turns around and just sort of wanders off. Out of character. He goes into the cell, the brig, and is sitting in front of the commander's cell, meditating.
Let's go for this one. I think Sal's going to become a soldier. If you can get him all alone.
Give me, let's see, what are we using for disguise?
Alright. See how this works. Now, that's going to be pretty, yeah.
Is there someone specific you're trying to impersonate, or just look like an officer?
I'm looking for like a mid-range NCO, like a sergeant or something along those lines, with some authority, but not so much that everybody would know who they are all the time.
All right.
The place is big. Okay.
So it's just a general disguise. You're not impersonating anybody in particular.
Yeah.
So you just make a persuasion roll versus stealth. +2 bonus.
Okay.
Or stealth versus notice.
Stealth versus notice. Okay.
Just give me a basic stealth roll.
Okay. Now, can I use the Metro Disguise thing on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
That's just your edge. So you were milling around, you find pieces of uniforms and fake beards, or you worked something up.
Oh, I see what I did. It should be 11, not 5.
Why 11?
Because I didn't give a. I just put out a 6. I did put a plus on there, on the mod, on the ad.
Well, it should be a +2.
Oh, so I don't use a +4 then.
No.
Oh,
yeah, it's +4 if he's allowed time to put together a disguise.
Like with full prosthetics.
This will be 7 then.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Nobody notices you as you, but they don't necessarily. You don't feel like they believe. It's a tie, so.
It's not a tie. You got a 7.
I got
7.
Near 5, so.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're going to be able to pass for that rank anywhere on base, except possibly with like spies, who might know all the officers.
Okay, well, all I want to do right now is just get into their, just listen to the talk around the walls and around the,
Okay.
the places the officers don't go, let's say.
Okay, so Jim is heading to the mess to rub elbows and hear scuttlebutt. Saul's kind of doing the same thing, walking around the fort. Lorinda following, or Sean and Lorinda following.
One is headed to the enlisted man's mess rather than the officer's mess,
Yeah.
All right.
because I would have no idea how to talk to an officer.
All right.
The food and being really subtle.
Lorinda would also
Heard about
be.
this Cortez guy. Who's he?
Right.
Lorinda would be heading towards the officer's mess, probably. She aims high.
Okay.
So she'll go there and exert her charm amongst the probably the lower ranked of the officers.
All right.
The lieutenants and such, and see what she can find out from them.
All right. You notice you're being followed by 2 enlisted men who are trying to keep their distance. but they're obviously following you.
After, when she's almost there and she's still noticing them following, she's going to make sure there's other people nearby, but she's going to turn to them and straight out ask them, "Has it been that long since you've seen a woman, boys?"
No, ma'am. Not at all, ma'am. We're just following orders. We were told to escort you wherever you went around the fort by Lieutenant Commander Smythe.
All right. Just so I know why you're there, and she'll wink at them.
All right.
And then continue on to the officer's mess.
Okay. So at this point, everybody's doing reconnaissance. So,
Well, you call
Jim,
it that.
we'll start with Sean. All you want to know is what the enlisted guys know about Cortez.
I mean, literally, that's his idea of subtle. He's going
Right.
to sit down at a table full of soldiers. So, I heard about this Cortez dude. He's supposed to be coming to kill me. Who is he?
They tell you that he is he's the leader of a gang over the border, and that he often sends raiders over the border to just terrorize people.
Hey,
But
nice.
he has quite a reputation as a very ruthless. Basically, you get the idea from them that he's a sort of like a Spanish drug lord. Or he deals in like selling arms and everything else, but he has a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say complex, but villa. He has his own fortified villa over the border.
Awesome.
Ever come over this side of the land?
Not often.
Man.
And nobody's really sure what he looks like either. But all of his, whenever they encounter any of his band or anybody who works for him, they always say that he's the meanest son of a bitch ever. And they start telling you've heard this before from the other guy.
Yeah, I heard all those silly stories. Man, that's unfortunate. I left him a note. Maybe he won't come see it. I should have taken it down to his villa. Now I'll write him another one.
Yeah, and nobody knows where this villa is. It's as much of a rumor as he was born on a full moon, ass backwards, and bit by a donkey, and then beat the donkey to death as an infant.
Sounds to me like he's some kind of coward that just hides in his tent, hides back in Mexico and sends his men to do his grunt work. I was hoping for a real fight too. Bummer.
That he was once shot in the shot. The other tale you hear, all of them telling is that he was once shot 6 times in the chest, and literally pulled the bullets out and threw them back at people and killed them.
Uh-huh. I guess I'll beat him up with my fist instead of shooting him then. More
But
fun
no one
anyway.
knows what he looks like.
Right, nobody knows what he looks like. But there's a shit ton of tall tales about how much of a badass he is.
Sean's getting pretty excited about meeting this guy. This sounds like a good fight.
So, Jim, what would Jim like to know? You're trying to get Scuttlebutt about...
Jim's a bit more subtle than what Sean is being. Jim is more listening to the talk than actually doing any speaking.
Okay.
But about 2/3 of the way through the meal, he reaches for a handkerchief to wipe his mouth, and the note falls out on the table.
All right. And the men in the Officers Club look at it. Do they get enough time to read it?
Sure,
Is that the intention?
sure. He won't bother to like snatch it up or anything.
Okay. You get a couple of wayward looks, like, wow, that's interesting, but nobody, like, busts their plate and runs the hell out of the Officers Club or anything. I mean, the reactions to it aren't drastic. You get a couple of raised eyebrows. But the majority of the conversation before that is that supplies aren't arriving like they should be, and that Smythe, there's a lot of complaints about how incompetent he is to even think about being in charge. And they were barely getting regular supplies when the commander was in charge, and they're worried about running out of just basic food and stuff like that because they keep missing shipments, or they come in hijacked with less stuff on them. So there's a supply issue in the area on top of everything else that's going on. There's not any conversation about well, no, they know you're here to do the prisoner exchange. You overhear some scuttlebutt about it's idiotic to think that the prisoner would be to the south. They're thinking that he would be heading more by way of Texas than he would be trying to get over the border. But there's even debate about that among the men, an argument about that.
The reports that we were provided in Washington regarding the prisoner we were here to pick up,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds more in line with those reports? Him trying to escape over the border, or back into the U.S.?
He's wanted to stand trial in Washington. That's why you're bringing him back. So for the orders you were issued, it makes sense that he'd be trying to flee across the border.
Okay.
And then Lorinda. So you're hanging out with the fellers. Is there any specific piece of information you're trying to get?
She's basically trying to pick up General Scuttlebutt, see, she's asking opinions of Smythe, seeing if what they're telling her rings true with either version of the story that they've been told, Smythe's or the commander's.
Give me a basic persuasion roll, since that's kind of your deal with your character.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to do a depose or anything. You don't need to spend bennies on it. I just kind of want to see if you pick up any additional information. And add your modifiers to it and all that. Yeah. I'm going to send you a whisper.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we know who the face character of this particular group is.
I mean, that's with like no skill, so you can imagine when she gets skilled how scary she's going to be.
Any information for me, boys? Any little secrets you want to tell little old Lorinda? I promise they'll be safe with me.
See, the funny thing is, I would get the exact same bonuses if we were running up against any women.
Yep.
I'm sure eventually we'll meet women out west, too.
Oh, I'm sure that
Okay,
Jared
cool.
will figure
I
in
got
at
that.
least one per adventure, just because he wants to take advantage of the lech part of the character.
So what is Saul trying to? Is he trying to tell me how Saul's kind of doing his reconnaissance? He's
Okay, what Saul's doing is he's going to the settler's shop, and he's being fairly free with buying drinks.
all right.
He's going to kind of let the word spread that he was a sergeant attached to that was basically escorting the all these civilians from the Secret Service across the desert.
Okay.
But He wants to see primarily how the troops are acting. I mean, if there's any reason to actually think some of them are somehow imposters or something like that.
Okay. I will send you a whisper. That makes sense?
Yes, thank you, sir. Okay.
But you're going to pick up the same information, basically, that David's character did, just in general. Because you guys are kind of all doing the same thing, but if you're going for specifics.
Right.
And so she got a little bit of specific. So what do they... at the end of the day, in Civil War era, 1869, in a fort, reverie is wake up, right?
Yeah.
Trumpets.
Revelries wake up, taps is nighttime.
So you start to hear a bugler playing taps.
That's not bad music. Kind of quiet and sad, though.
Jim will fold the piece of paper up that fell out, stick it back in his pocket, take care of his plate, and head to the general officer's quarters to take a bunk.
Okay.
Leaving the colonel's quarters to Lorenda.
All right. So when you guys sort of cross paths on the way back to where you're going to be bedding down for the night, if you want to share any information, go ahead, but then that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Hey, Jim, guess what?
What's that, Sean?
Well, it sounds like this Cortez guy lives down in Mexico and is scared to come to the U.S. We got to go down to Mexico and find his villa and kick his butt. I'm not sure he's going to see my note, so I got to take it down to him.
I see. Well, that's interesting. Everything I'm hearing is tall tales about a man that nobody can identify. I almost wonder if he's not a myth.
Well, that'd be a bummer. Then who am I going to beat up?
Yeah, they all use him as a straw man to make us afraid of this Cortez when it's really just this gang trying to seem bigger than what they are.
Darn, that'd be a real disappointment.
Well, the colonel, for what it's worth, more of the soldiers here believe the commander than believe Smythe about the imposters and all that sort of thing.
And sir, the lower officers are about to mutiny. They plan to break the commander out in the morning. So I would believe the commander over Smythe.
Well,
That or just because Smythe's an idiot. I mean, idiot.
we shall have to do something. We can't have a mutiny occur here within the base.
All right, and that's where we'll leave it for tonight. Take a look at the thing I'm sharing, the good, the bad, and the ugly setting rule. So if any of these apply to you, go ahead and keep the number of bennies that you should be keeping.
You mean impulsive's not good? Darn.
Trade them. So you can either carry over bennies or trade them for an experience point. Or any combination thereof.
Or drop them to the table because we're getting new for next week.
Right, so this is where you're going to jettison all your bennies.
Dude, 7 bennies, you're kidding me.
Now, don't go dropping your resource points, though, guys.
Yeah, hold on to your resource points.
Are we getting
Marshall
XP other than these?
Yeah, everybody's going to get 2 XP for tonight.
So I could have 4 and start with no extra bennies. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to drop all mine and take them as XP.
All right.
That'll give me the 4 XP then. Since I didn't have any blue ones left, if I had a blue one left, I'd keep it.
Wait, I thought there was a cap on how many you could turn into XP.
2. I have heroic, so I can turn 2 in. Oh no, both for 1. I'm sorry, I misread it. Is it? I guess Jared, is it 1 point each, or is it 1 point for both of them? I'm good either way. I'm just checking.
You can trade both for 1 point of experience.
So I'll have 1 XP, so I'll be at 3. That's all right.
So you can carry over both, or you can trade 2 of them in for a experience point.
I'll take the 1 XP at least this time. If I had a blue, like I said, I'd keep a blue, but
Okay, I'm not quite sure what you mean by bad hindrances subtract 1 Benny each.
So if you have mean, greedy, ruthless, or vengeful, each of those take away 1 Benny that you can carry over.
Oh, okay.
so if you're heroic and mean,
So since I've got vengeful minor, I can carry over 1 Benny.
but do you have heroic, code of honor, or loyal?
No.
Then you can't carry anything over.
Right.
Okay.
You have to have one of the top ones to carry it over. But if you have a bad one as well,
and then
it
the
takes
bad
away
one.
from it.
Okay. I
So
get
if
it.
you were heroic with your vengeful, you could only carry 1 instead of 2.
Okay. That makes sense now.
Should have taken code of honor instead of impulsive. Rat. No, I'm kidding.
That's good. I don't have any of those. Nothing that's on his good, the bad, or the ugly list is on my character.
All I have is heroic. Which is plenty, but what is the yellow chip?
Outsider.
Oh, somebody dropped a legend chip?
I can't
One of us
carry
had
it
the
over.
legendary chip.
I had the
Wow.
legendary chip from last time, and I can't carry it over. So
Well, what does the legendary chip in Deadlands let you do?
It
Reroll
lets you
anything.
immediately, like, you can re-roll anything, regardless of, like, the normal requirements, including the critical fail, but it also allows you to, like, lower the fear level and all
Storytelling.
kinds of
Right.
stuff. But
It
But
can't
you
be
get 'em
traded
for
for
storytelling.
experience? It can't be traded for experience? In Deadlands?
Well, it could, but that was when any Benny could be, so I don't know if they're allowed to do that or not.
yeah, as far as I know, the legend chip doesn't get traded for XP.
Say,
Right.
at the time my book was written, you could trade...
Oh no, a
The
player
chance
can
has
trade in an unplayed legend chip at the end of a session for
Right.
an automatic experience point.
Right. So,
okay, so I can do that then.
right, but like I said, keep in mind that this is, when you could also gain XP at the end of session with them.
No, that's from the current Deadlands
Reloaded.
Reloaded book.
Yep.
Okay, because I'd say,
Yeah.
I mean, my book still talks about turning in fate chips for XP, so I don't know. I'm good with it. I think the legend should be more than just you lost it, too bad, but
Yeah, because I mean the legend chip is kind of a big deal.
since
Yeah.
it's gone out of the deck forever.
So we should have 2 XP total, right?
yes.
Unless
Unless
you're me
yeah.
or Mabel. Lorinda.
Unless you've got one of those hindrances that lets you get extra XP or something.
No, not extra. Yeah, I wish. No, I'm holding on by 2. I'm holding on to two bennies for next time.
All right, so you've got one of them, but you're keeping bennies instead.
Yeah. That's
You're heroic too?
You're not heroic. You've got loyal.
I have loyal.
Loyal's only worth 1.
Right.
Ew. Well, in that case, I'll get another one.
Now, if you made heroic, code of honor, and loyal,
Oh no, I'm not
We'd be all set.
Not that good a guy.
we'd be
Yeah,
all
so-
set. Be 5.
So the loyal lets you carry over 1 Benny per session.
Okay. And so I shall.
Cool. And then that's where we shall end the broadcast for tonight.